But really, on behalf of the Early Childhood Development team here, as well as the Early Childhood Peace Consortium, it is our pleasure to welcome all of you to this reception and a really vibrant music performance that I had the privilege of listening parts of too, called The Seeds of Peace. As part of the 78th session of the UN General Assembly, following a very, very thought-provoking, insightful, wonderful high-level session this morning across the hall in the Secretariat, across the road in the Secretariat, on ECD, Early Childhood Development, and how it provides the pathways to peace, to sustainable peace. So we have a very exciting event planned for you in the next hour, and followed by our delightful luncheon and mingling. So it is my honor now and privilege to introduce Ms. June Kunugi, our Public Partnerships Division Director here at UNICEF. Ms. Kunugi became the Director of UNICEF's Public Partnerships Division in April 2021. She really has been such a champion and partner with us in this journey of early childhood development, a very committed partner, oversees the organization's resource mobilization from the public sector, its engagement with the permanent missions, governments on multilateral affairs, in the intergovernmental space and UN partnerships. And she's had really, I think, over 29 years of experience, June, and she served as the UNICEF representative in Myanmar, in Bosnia, Palestine, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, I hope I haven't left out any place on the map, and has worked in the office of the Executive Director, has also been the Director of UNICEF's Tokyo office, overseeing public sector partnerships and resource mobilization in Japan and the Republic of Korea. June, over to you. Thank you. Please give her a rousing applause.
Thank you. I really would like to welcome all of you, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, friends, colleagues, partners, chief guests from the younger generation, and we look forward to hearing from you very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining us today for this reception and musical performance. So this is jointly, as Chemba had mentioned, this is being jointly hosted by UNICEF and the Early Childhood Peace Consortium, ECPC. And the chair of the ECPC is my former boss, Dr. Rima Salah, who was the UNICEF representative in Vietnam when I was a young JPO and communication officer there. And so I joke because I say I always do whatever she tells me to do. So again, thank you for the privilege of joining you today as well. Together, you represent a really powerful partnership, advancing investment in early childhood development towards more cohesive and peaceful societies. And really, thank you. Many of you have provided academic, scientific, and intellectual contributions, which created the evidence base for this work, including in this beautiful 2014 book, Pathways to Peace. And this has actually been enriched over the last decade with experiences and programs across the globe. And one of the countries I worked in, I think you mentioned it, was Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I was there around, the mid-2000s. And so it was, 10 years after the Dayton Peace Accord. But, the child psychologists and the child development specialists really did attribute the increase then in adolescent violence to the lack of ECD, early childhood development and caring during that time of early childhood when the country was at war. So I've seen firsthand what the lack of ECD has done to societies as well. But now UNICEF's theory of change includes ECD as a key intervention, including in peace building, to achieve more cohesive and peaceful societies. So the event this morning, and I'm sorry I wasn't there, the Pathways for Sustainable Peace, demonstrated increasing interest to bring both the ECD and peace-building agendas closer together, something which UNICEF actively supports and advocates. And I think you know of the new UNICEF Early Childhood Development Vision signed by our Executive Director, which connects investments in the early years of life with the promotion of gender equality, tackling climate change, and building more inclusive societies for children and persons with disabilities, leading to more sustainable and peaceful nations. Finally, and again, looking forward very much to the musical performance, with a very big thanks to all the performers and the producers. It is a real privilege to have you here today. Music really is a universal language promoting harmony, and I had a glimpse at the beautiful messages in the lyrics of the song that you'll be singing, which really provide hope and inspiration, which are so much needed to bring and build a culture of peace. Thank you very much.
Before we start, I wanted to introduce brains behind this. That I wanted to introduce Dr. Kyle Pruitt and his wife, Marcia Pruitt. If you could just wave or stand up so people can applaud you for this moment. I like to go with the women first. Marcia was the brain behind the lyrics of the song today. So thank you so much, Marcia, for bringing peace to the world through your powerful words. Dr. Pruitt, Kyle Pruitt, is a member of our Early Childhood Peace Consortium. You can see the consortium at work today in multiple ways. He is the clinical professor of child psychiatry at the Yale School of Medicine, founding member of the Early Childhood Peace Consortium, a prominent author, international lecturer, media personality, pioneering researcher, conducting the country's only long-term study of the impact of children of primary caretaking fathers. Author of several award-winning books. I think you've worked with Oprah Winfrey, Peter Jennings, I can't even go down this list. We will be here all afternoon. But I will let Dr. Pruitt introduce the story of this Seeds of Peace choir. Over to you, Kyle. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And now a different version of the compelling message that you just heard from Hero so eloquently, and an entertaining implementation of one of its action points, embodied in the UN General Assembly's mission-endorsed phrase, "Feeling safe at home sows the seeds of peace." You believe that? It's true. It even has the potential to be a competing earworm. As COVID slowly loosens its grip, a small group of ECPC colleagues cautiously shared an unmasked meal at an historic college eatery in New Haven. Conversation centered on how to propel ECP's compelling message to the right eyes and ears. Supporting families when their children and their brains are growing the fastest brings the best return on investment in families for any health ministry around the globe. Not to mention that it makes the world safer for children and the rest of us. Someone suggested from personal experience that words in science may not be sufficient in and of themselves. Maybe the arts could help. They always do. Chemba Fallon turned to me, "You sing, right, Kyle?" "Right." "How about an anthem?" "Anthem? Pause. Marcia has written lyrics for some things I've sung. Maybe she'd take on the challenge." Eduardo Garcia Roland, whom I had just met, said with his engaging smile and characteristic confidence, "That's it, done." Well, almost. I turned to Jeffrey Hudson, a composer from our valley whose work on climate change, his oratorial passion for the planet had moved me and many others deeply. He responded tentatively, "Sure, send me something." Months later, Marcia did, and Jeffrey embraced the project with the joy and the enthusiasm that everyone that got near it thereafter did. Marcia and I asked him to add a children's choir section, which seemed the natural thing to do in this nothing about me without me era. I'd like to have Jeff stand and say a word or two about what it was like to compose this piece for us.
When Kyle and Marcia Pruitt first asked me, or presented this idea to me, I will confess to being a bit puzzled. I wasn't quite sure what to think about the project. And then when they described to me the work that ECPC is doing around the world, I quickly got very excited about this project. The work you are doing is inspirational, and more importantly, it's transformational. It's sowing the seeds for a saner and more peaceful world. And how does music connect with that? Music has a unique ability to bring people together. If you take a gathering of people and have them sing something together, as we will all do here today, that's a warning to you, we will all be singing, bonds begin to form. So we're no longer just a collection of individuals, we become a community. And in the famous words of Reinhold Niebuhr, nothing that is worth doing can be accomplished alone. Music opens up our brains to new ways of thinking. It frees us from the quirks and limitations of the word processing center that dominates so much of our thinking. Music skirts all of that and goes directly to the heart of our humanity. I'm so glad to be here today to hear this wonderful children's choir from New Haven and to introduce this music.
I turn to Yale's Music in New Haven Schools initiative at the suggestion of Professor and longtime friend Jeffrey Dalma, and Ruben Rodriguez, its director, did not hesitate. You're about to hear what was born of that effort from the people that ECPC's work affects the most. But first, a word from Ruben.
My name is Ruben Rodriguez, director of the Music in Schools initiative. I was really happy to see in the program Colombia is supporting this program, and then the Music in Schools initiative is a partnership connecting Yale University and the New Haven Public Schools. We serve kids from grades 3rd to 12th, and we are happy to collaborate with the most amazing team of music educators, teaching artists, families and students and administrators, everyone around music. And I would like to mention that this is possible thanks to the vision of the Yale Class of 57, who sponsored this program from 2007. Thank you very much, Kaye.
Touch, hearing, and vision converge before language is even cued. Interestingly, the Greek word for synapse, the area where neurons connect to each other and transform information, translate information, refers to the note that connects one octave to the next. Even Alzheimer's cannot erase the remembered lyrics connected to music learned pre-Alzheimer's. The eloquent neurologist and author Oliver Sacks wrote, "Music, unique in the arts, is both abstract and profoundly emotional. It has unique power to express inner states and feelings. It can pierce the heart. And when you add words of universal meaning, written by my wife, it does just that. Anywhere, anytime." And as Jeff mentioned, if you're lucky enough to do it with friends, its beneficial effects on you, the singer, and the singers around you is exponential. In my own culture, if you are blessed with any kind of talent and you fail to use it to support that culture, your ancestors, not to mention those still breathing, would not be pleased. If you are in this room this afternoon, your talents probably have something to do with why you are here. Let's freshen singing as one of them. Not to worry, there's safety in numbers. A Welsh National Health Service study of singers alone compared to singers in groups found that protective immune proteins were released when singing in groups that were not when singing alone. So get ready to feel better in a few minutes. So now you know, one, why I brought some friends to premiere for you the Seeds of Peace, why we hope that you will each take Seeds of Peace, whose lyrics and music will be available to anyone at ECPC's website without cost, a gift of ECPC and the composer Jeffrey Hudson, and use it in your schools, your music programs, media outlets, your family gatherings, translate it into your own languages whenever you think the world needs some hope and repair. Don't let this be a one-time thing. This song's message is a seed of peace in its own right. We wanted to spread widely enough to rival the teensy-weensy spider in popularity. It's just as easy to sing, but means infinitely more. And 2, why we are all inviting you, all of you, to join us in singing the title phrase, which you've already heard be mentioned in the beginning of this talk. Near the end of this meaningful piece, I will cue you when to come in, and we will sing it together. The words and the music will be projected, but first, a brief rehearsal led by the wonderful Allison Keckle, who conducts this incredible choir, a New Haven public school teacher herself, a choral conductor, a member of this program, and a Yale alumni.
Welcome to our world, my child. Welcome to our world. We know each new life we have a chance to plant the seeds of peace. Holding your tiny hands, nestled in our own, we hold you close throughout the night till the morning sun returns.
Feeling safe at home, sows the seeds of peace. Feeling safe at home, sows the seeds of peace.
When hate and fear destroy hope and trust, seeds of peace can't grow. Compassion, care, respect, and love wither on the vine. There is no place for play, no chance for joy.